Moin Whisky-Fans, willkommen bei den Malt Mariners und ich bin wieder mal zu Gast in Dänemark. Ich bin sehr, sehr happy hier zu sein und ich bin heute zu Gast bei
Snævar Albertsson from Cell Whisky Distillery and we are in the eastern part of Jutland here in Denmark.
Und jetzt schauen wir uns die Brennerei an.
Hey guys, we're here in one of our barley fields. So right over there, that's where Lars lives, who he is one of the founders of Cell Whisky Distillery. And here we are looking at the barley for 2025, which we are, well, not in a very long time actually starting to use. Maybe, I guess in October, I think we'll start using these guys here that are growing. This is Prospect barley, which is spring barley, and we've been using that for the last couple of years now, and like really a good variety for making whiskey. And the great thing I think about looking at this is that every time we distill, every time we bottle a whiskey, we have full traceability to the field where the whiskey has been grown. So yeah, and everything here is also 100% organic and has been for over 20 years. So no pesticides in our whiskey. Yeah, so this is what it's all about, guys. This is barley.
Awesome. Whiskey, 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 and Cell Whisky.
Cool, welcome to Cell Whisky Distillery. Let's go and check out our stills. So this is where the magic happens, and production has already been going today and continues also tomorrow. So here we have our pot stills. These are classic Olympic stills, and we have two stills here. One is for the wash, which happens here. 900 liters go into the wash still, and so 100% copper and direct fired as well. And here we have the spirit still, 500 liter spirit still. So that's the second distillation and also direct fired. So yeah, we're getting a really nice base meaty kind of distillate here. So yeah, that's the core thing about the whole distillery. The mash tun here is homemade from an old milk tank. That's what we actually could afford back then when we started. So this distillery is crowdfunded. So that's also quite interesting because the whole thing began on the other side of the road over there in the town hall. The first thing we did when we started the distillery or wanted to start a distillery was that we invited the whole town to hear about our idea, and we hoped that maybe 3 or 4 people would show up to, well, have a whiskey, and but half of the town of Cell showed up, so that's like 100 people.
Wow.
And we introduced our idea and told them about our dream and got them a little bit drunk on some nice whiskeys as well. And at the end of the night they said, okay, we'll buy the first bottles now. And that was like the beginning of the whole thing, which was incredible that we 5 years later could invite them to the same town hall and give them their whiskey and say thank you for believing in us.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. So yeah, the crowdfunding, the money that we raised went into buying all the equipment that we see here. And this distillery, this building didn't exist back then. So where you're standing, Leon, there was a kitchen garden, and further down there we had some chickens. And so we had to build this whole thing. And I did that with my stepfather, who is a former carpenter. So that was also quite a journey, and
yeah,
you know, probably the most insane way to start any kind of company is. Hello there. Hello.
What a familiar smell. Awesome.
Yeah, it's the fruit of some hours in the distillery. So here we have about 20,000 liters maturing at the moment, in all kinds of different casks. So I'm thinking about maybe talking a bit about that over there, which is kind of a fun project. Are we live? Are we recording?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we've filled just about 300 casks in total here at Saddle Whisky Distillery, and we've been one of the parameters that we wanted to experiment with was obviously the casks. We have been experimenting as well with both Pilsner malt, pale malt, Vienna malt, peated malt. And then we have, some constants that we haven't really changed a lot. Also because, we want to have some outcomes at the end, some conclusions that we want to get to. And so we don't want to change like every aspect of the whole production at the same time. But casks have been something that we wanted to experiment with. But mostly we've been doing ex-bourbon casks and different sherry casks, everything from Manzanilla to Palo Cortado, Amontillado, Oloroso, Pedro Jimenez. So all of that range there in terms of sherry casks, not Fino yet, but we'll probably do that as well. Also Marsala cask, Madeira cask, Mezcal, just to find out what we can do with our distillates in casks.
The whole shebang.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe the most outrageous experiment we've done is the one over here. If I move these guys, these are two first fill American oak casks. And as you can see, we've written something on these casks. It says Whiskey Concrète, Malt Music Project. And this one says Silence Version.
Uh-huh.
And that one over here says Transduced Version. So these were both filled with the exact same batch of new make on the exact same time and are now maturing next to each other and have been doing that since November 23. The big difference is obviously that one of the casks has two transducers attached to it, one in front, one in the back. And it's actually listening to a piece of music that we made for it. And it gets even crazier because the music that we created is solely made out of sounds from the production. Everything from harvesting the barley to diluting the actual new make.
This is so nerdy, I love it.
So this cask over there is actually listening to its own birth.
Okay.
And there's a lot of experiments going on with filling casks and playing music for these casks. But here we actually have a way of testing if there's going to be a difference at the end, because one cask is being manipulated with sound waves and is actually has been transformed into a speaker basically. Okay. And so this is the best way for us to see if that has anything to say in terms of maturation. Yeah. Because the other cask is completely the same, just without these vibrations. So yeah.
Awesome.
That's how nerdy we can get here.
Is it possible to hear the sound that the cask is hearing?
Yeah. Yes, so we're actually releasing this when we're bottling it. We're doing a vinyl of the music.
Okay, awesome.
So you can actually get both bottles and then the music as well.
Cool. Yeah.
So
awesome.
Yeah. I actually think it's only kind of ourselves that think this is like the best thing ever. But yeah, we really like doing something. We could just have filled the two casks and then, but this is more fun. Yeah, so as I said before, many different kinds of casks and even some different yeasts we've tried as well, and then filled on smaller second fill Extra Oloroso casks. Just as a every Christmas before we go on Christmas holidays, we do three. We brew 3 times, and we put 3 different yeasts in every wash or wort, and then we let it sit until we're back from the holidays to see what has happened. So
Cool.
That's gonna be a lot of fun to follow. I was thinking we might try a cask here. This one here is actually we bought a cask from Laphroaig. We filled it first with non-peated new make and did our first distillery edition bottling from that. And then we filled it again, even though it's a super tired cask. We filled it the second time with peated new make. Peated new make we create with peat from the northern part of Jutland, which has kind of a more floral, really nice peat to it. And put that first in the Laphroaig cask and had it sitting there until March this year. We put it over in a first fill Manzanilla cask. So, and I haven't tried it yet. So I thought, Leon,
awesome.
shouldn't we give it a go?
Certainly, sounds very interesting.
Yeah, it's still quite young, but so, Leon, here's a glass.
Thank you.
Mouth blown, by the way.
Well, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's quite nice, isn't it? And the thing, we talked earlier, maybe we're talking about it again later, but singularity, uniqueness.
Yeah.
Every glass is a bit different.
Oh, yeah.
So
Interesting. Yeah, cool.
that's kind of nice, to have a glass that's not, manufactured in millions of different glasses. So
Manzanilla.
yeah,
It's actually, I think Manzanilla is probably my sort of favorite type of sherry. I haven't really tasted many sherries before, but I like the idea of a maritime sherry. So it's kind
absolutely.
of
Yeah, I think it's lovely, and we actually did one whiskey with Manzanilla already, and that worked out really well. I think it was super nice. But
Cool.
this one is quite young still, but
yeah. How long has this been sitting in the cask?
well, this has been at first in this Laphroaig cask for 1.5 years, and this was filled over in March. So it's only been sitting in the Manzanilla cask for 4 months. So
For young malt, basically, Sal young malt, peated young malt with
absolutely.
Manzanilla influence.
not whiskey at all.
Yeah.
And also the Laphroaig cask was also very tired.
Yeah.
So it's you can it's new make basically, but with some
Matured,
flavors.
matured new make.
Exactly.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, lovely. Quite grainy. I like there's a lot of barley there. I really like that.
Absolutely.
It's tough also. Like you can taste it's very young.
Yeah.
But I like this grainy how to say it? Getreide in German. It's the general word for grain.
Right. Yeah.
But cereal.
Yeah.
Cereal kind of flavors.
Yeah, that really comes through in all our distillates. Now this one is a peated one, but like it's still coming through that peatiness, and I really like that we get. That's what our focus is also. Like this is the raw ingredient is the barley. You know, we want that grain, that maltiness, the kind of breadiness. So we're definitely we're definitely going for that. The breadiness, a bit toasted, and that's really one of the, I would say, distillery characteristics for our whiskies in general.
Yeah.
And we've never been about the super fruitiness and things like this. Also, our stills are direct fired, and we're kind of going more towards the bit heavier, the meaty stuff, and the raw ingredient itself.
I think it also makes a lot of sense, since you are a farm distillery using your own barley, having full control over the process, to focus also on the grain, and not to have like an overly casked over covered whiskey. So I think it makes a lot of sense to go for that picture.
Yeah. And really nice of you to say that. I agree that it's should be a thing for farm distilleries to present what you are actually creating in the distillery before things go into a cask.
Yeah.
And of course, we are also doing sherry casks, as I mentioned before, like this one. It's not too overpowering, of course, but also the sweeter stuff. But we also really like doing second fill ex-bourbon casks.
Yeah.
And then actually bottling that as a young whiskey.
Yeah.
That would be kind of a no-go for many, because is that ready? But what is ready? I mean, when we've made the new make, that is new make. That is something we've created.
Yes.
And why not give people insight into that? And even though we've released 3- and 4-year-old whiskies that have been only maturing on second fill ex-bourbon casks, I think we do that with pride, because we want people to experience what we are doing in the distillery.
Yeah, totally.
And not make it all up to the casks.
Yeah. I actually like this idea of having a second fill bourbon cask version of a whiskey, because I think I had this in the interview with Per Kaldenby from Smögen, and we talked also about this. I would love to have from every distillery a version of a bourbon cask matured at the same time, preferably like 8 or 10 years, but maybe sometimes it has to be younger.
Yeah.
But bourbon casks especially, and now that you mentioned second fill, I feel like even better to have second fill bourbon casks.
Yeah.
Because I totally agree that if I get to know a distillery for the first time, I'm very interested in the real character of the distillery. And obviously the house style can be cask driven, but I feel that to me as a nerd or somebody who's passionate about whiskey, I like to know the character of the distillery, and then after the house style. Yeah. So but that's Absolutely. Why I really appreciate the idea of using second fill bourbon cask and getting people to taste that. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I think one of my favorite styles is, very tired casks but old whiskey. I mean, that just really blows my mind sometimes. And obviously here at Saddle we can't do that. I mean, our oldest casks are 5 years old, But we still feel like if we can take people on that journey from, starting a distillery, releasing, whiskeys that are matured, not in, first fill sherry casks, but also very used spirit casks. Yeah. And to give them that insight into that journey of creating an incredible old whiskey on a cask that isn't too additive, I think that's the lovely thing about also focusing on distillate-driven whiskeys.
Yes.
And we're trying to, because people would say, oh, this whiskey is just too young, but then they would have a whiskey just as old, but that has matured in a different way. Yeah. And so that's also a myth that we're trying to, puncture, Yeah. And but it's really a journey for us. So that style of whiskey.
I can hear the music in the background playing through the cask. It's really cool.
The cask is going crazy.
Yeah. Rock and roll. Awesome.
Yeah. But so that type of style that we're talking about, the distillate-driven ones, we call mul. Mul. And mul just means soil.
Okay.
So this is really where everything begins for us.
Yeah.
And I think Mul is always going to be part of our repertoire. And that's just whiskey that it hasn't, touched a wine cask,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Moin Whisky-Fans, willkommen bei den Malt Mariners und ich bin wieder mal in Gast. So, shit, okay, I gotta do it again.
Switching languages.
Yeah, and I love doing outtakes, so that's always fun.